group of kayakers glide through the murky Ohio River, keeping their eyes peeled for something out of the ordinary. Then, as they pass under the trees that overhang the water, they're suddenly greeted with an incredible sight. Yes, an abandoned giant of the past lies there, rusting in the mud. But how did it get there? And how did it meet such a sad and lonely fate? In July 2012, a YouTube user known as the Ghost81 uploaded an intriguing video to the site. It consisted of footage filmed while on a kayaking trip along the Ohio River. In it, the kayakers featured saw something amazing lurking in the water about 25 miles outside Cincinnati, Ohio. One of the group, James Mallet, had heard stories about a mysterious ghost ship run aground in one of the tributaries of the Ohio River. Ever adventurous, he and his friends decided to grab their kayaks and go take a closer look. Sure enough, they soon discovered the half-hidden remains of a large vessel floating in the creek. Of course, they quickly abandoned their kayaks and climbed aboard to explore the rusting wreck. The deck was covered with weeds sprouting from every surface. The old General Motors engine clearly hadn't been used for generations. In fact, the kayakers had stumbled on the last resting place of a ship that had been abandoned for almost 30 years. But they weren't the first people to discover it. In fact, the ghost ship has built up quite a local reputation over the years. While glimpses of this hulk can be caught from the road above, the best views are reserved for the few kayakers, like Mallet and his friends, who are able to explore the ship up close. But just how many of them realize the incredible history that lies behind the wreck that they see today? Originally named Celt, the ship was built by Pusey and Jones in Wilmington, Delaware in 1902. A wealthy railroad executive, J. Rogers Maxwell, had commissioned the 186-foot vessel as a luxury yacht. Then in 1917, the United States entered the First World War, and the fate of the Celt dramatically changed course. After all, the U.S. Navy was on the lookout for small boats that could move faster than the deadly German U-boats, and the steam-powered Celt fitted the bill. On July 3, 1917, the ship was acquired by the U.S. Navy and renamed USS Sachem. Now equipped with machine guns, it soon started a new life as a coastal patrol vessel. It was during this period that the Sachem would carry one of the most famous people ever to walk its decks in its long and illustrious career. In fact, it was the inventor Thomas Edison, busy conducting experiments in New York Harbor, who spent time as a passenger on the ship. After the war was over, though, the Sachem was returned to its original owners. The ship then passed through the hands of Roland L. Taylor, a banker from Philadelphia, before being bought by Captain Jacob Martin of Brooklyn in 1932. By then, the Great Depression was in full swing, and Martin picked up the ship for a bargain price. Moreover, he later converted it into a chartered fishing vessel, charging passengers $2 a head to board. And while some people used a trip on the ship as an opportunity to catch fish to feed their families, others saw it as a chance to enjoy a pleasure cruise. Indeed, it was an idea so popular that Martin would go down in history as one of the pioneers of the modern concept of party boat fishing. In 1941, however, the United States again found itself embroiled in war, and the Sachem was returned to the U.S. Navy the following year. Now under the name USS Fennecyte, it was used to patrol the waters of the Florida Keys. At the end of the war, the ship was returned to Martin, who sailed it once again under the name Sachem. He then sold it on to the Circle Line, a sightseeing company operating out of New York City. It was the start of the ship's long career ferrying tourists around the sights of one of the most famous cities on Earth. In fact, the ship served as a tour boat for the next 40 years, first as the Sightseer and then as the Circle V. That latter name, incidentally, can still be spotted on the wreck today. The ship was then finally retired in the early 1980s, but even then its long story was not quite done. In 1986, Robert Miller from Cincinnati acquired the ship for $7,500. Yet while he was preparing the boat for the long journey to the Midwest, a limousine rolled up. An individual representing the singer Madonna approached him and revealed that they wanted to use the Circle V. Following this chance encounter, then, the boat ended up making an appearance in the music video for Papa Don't Preach. After its brief brush with stardom, Circle V embarked on an epic journey from New York through the Great Lakes and the Mississippi River. Finally, it came to rest in northern Kentucky on Miller's property. That was back in 1986, and it hasn't moved since. Yet although the ship has been quietly rusting away for decades, recent photographs, such as the ones you see here, have renewed interest in the vessel. And many, including one man claiming to be Miller, want to see it restored and used as a museum or a pleasure craft. For now, however, only those prepared to go out searching will be rewarded with a glimpse of the ship that once carried Thomas Edison, kicked off an industry, fought in 2 world wars, and starred in a music video. Still, according to those who've made the effort, it's certainly worth the trip.